Let's go. Come on. Jack Nolte, by the way. I saw Jack left a comment already. Jack, it's your birthday from what Carla has advised. So we'll start the 5K tennis rain day show for like the 1,000th day in a row, it seems, with a happy birthday. All right, Jack Nolte, on 3, happy birthday.
Man, I really, happy birthday. I really hate singing the happy birthday song for anyone, but we'll do it, I guess.
You're bashful about singing?
I just don't like singing the happy birthday song. I wish they would change it up a little bit to make it a little more exciting.
She sings karaoke all the time.
But I know happy birthday is just like one of those cheesy songs. Go ahead.
Cheesy?
Yeah, they need to change it up, the version.
I don't know. All right, here we go. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jack Nolte. Happy birthday to you.
See what I mean? Like they need to come up with something more exciting.
Let's go.
Maybe rap it. I don't know.
Oh, so now we got to rap the happy birthday song.
I don't know. It might be more, I don't know, entertaining.
All right. You ready to get into this?
Yes.
All right. Let's lock in. Let's roll. And everything's good volume-wise. Everything's set.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think so. Okay. Jose P's in. There you go. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, believe it or not. Okay?
All right.
We do. All right. Hello. Welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is August the 24th, 2022. And once again, we are here doing another show 2 days in a row. Why is that? Because it has been relentless, habitual rain here in Southern Alabama for a couple of days. So here we are again. Don't forget, if you are going to play for the $700 or the fantasy teams where 2 players will win $50 regardless, then check out the video on this playlist titled the $700 cash giveaway. So check that out as well. Don't forget that we're going to be giving out random sets of YTech strings. The new YTech Square X Sharp is an insane string. 18 gauge, super thin, sharp edges, so you can really get bite on the ball. We'll be giving out random sets of those actively throughout the U.S. Open. All right, starting today's show with this, Djokovic and whether or not he plays or not. I know we've discussed this multiple times over the past couple of days. Just a moment ago, Carla and I were watching the Tennis Channel, and James Blake said something along the lines of, he has to be either allowed to play or not to play by tomorrow, gruppersday, sometime around noon, I guess. Mm-hmm. The draws come out the next day. Anyway, he said something along the lines, and I'm wanting to quote, but not exactly, as don't be shocked if he plays or don't be surprised if he plays, but on the same point in time, don't be shocked if he doesn't play.
That doesn't mean anything.
It's like a coin toss, right?
That means jack shit. In other words, like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So anyway, just letting you know, again, it's almost a crime for Novak to not be allowed to play. The CDC has changed those rules, guidelines. We talked about it yesterday, and some of the biggest names in the sport, Navratilova, McEnroe, the list goes on, have even voiced their opinions about Novak not being allowed to play. Hopefully we see him pop up in the draw, and he is still on the entry list, so it's still a possibility. Okay.
Van Lee says everybody's pregnant. I'm not, thank God. What's in the air, guys? Congrats to Kerber. I said, well, I know Jack Nolte was the one that sent me a message too about it, and I said, well, good for her. Her tennis career was done anyways.
I don't know.
It was done. I mean, she's 34 years old. She's won a lot of slams, had a great career. And eventually these women have to think about being moms if they want to be, because the time does tick for women. Not for men so much. For women, it does. There is a certain age where it's much harder to get pregnant. So she's at a good age, 34. That's a very good age.
It's hard. It's hard for me to fathom the word retirement at 34 these days in any capacity. And I say that basically in reference to, say, you or LeBron James or a multitude of athletes, Tom Brady, that are still playing at an extremely high level, well beyond Kerber's age. Carla, for an example, I'll kind of give you some props here. we were watching the qualies yesterday, and we're going to watch them again today. And we're going to talk a lot about some of the quali matches and what we noticed from the quali matches yesterday. And we'll start watching them again this morning. But some of the girls that we watched in the qualies, I'm not kidding you, Carla would beat in straight sets. I'm not kidding you. I'm dead serious. And you're 43 with 5 children. I'm not saying you're going to beat one day, get back on the next court and do it again. I'm just saying on your best day, I saw some tennis yesterday that I don't even have to even think about the fact that you could have beaten them.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a sad thing for me to watch, but that's okay. Vanley says Kvitova is married as well. Didn't she marry her coach who helped her out through that stabbing, on her hand, or she got stabbed by a thief or something? She has the mommy eyes, might pop up pregnant next season. She should. Time's ticking. Again, I'm being realistic about women. There is a certain age where it's a lot tougher to get pregnant. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I had my first one, I think I was 21 or 22. And then I remember having Gabby. That wasn't hard, but having Justin was harder. I was older. So, I mean, he's 6, I'm 43. So do the calculation, it is harder on the body. It is harder to keep a healthy pregnancy. So it's smart for someone like Kerb or someone like Kvitova, where their career is coming to an end, to think about having a child if that's what they want. Otherwise they're going to be stuck with adoption, and that's nothing wrong with that. But I'm sure that if they could do it, they would want to do that instead of adopting or whatever, or going through.
Yeah, or whatever. I mean, agreed. But 34, 35 is not old in any sport this day and age.
In tennis, though, if you want to have a family life, that is probably the age where you start, though, as a woman. As a guy, it doesn't matter because you guys are not carrying the baby. But as a woman, that's pretty much it. I doubt that Kerber will come back from that, by the way. I mean, she's not going to want to. Why would you want to? I mean, look at Serena, how much she struggled after having a child. And she's in her 40s. So yes, is it harder to play tennis for women on their 40s? Absolutely, because the hormones are changing, everything's changing. Just like for you guys, we lose more muscle, we lose speed, our metabolism slows down. We can't look at Murray yesterday in an interview. He was having a hard time, cramping. His body's cramping. It's harder as we get older.
Dimitrov had a rough retirement yesterday. If you noticed that, we'll talk a little bit about that. You mentioned when you had our 5th child, Justin Jr., JD2 or JPD2, that you had a tougher time. I always think about when you mentioned that when we went to the hospital to have him delivered, we went in, we got in the room, you sat back, they came in, they gave you your epidural. The OBGYN walks in and she says, hey, let's take a look and see where we are. And within 10 seconds, the baby Justin Jr. was in her hands. And she said something comically. She said that, wow, he just popped right out.
Yeah, but it's tougher on the body. How long did it take me to recover? My body was not the same. I was very tired. My body didn't recover. It took me a year to recover from that. That's what I'm saying. It's not the same. And the pregnancy was very tough on me. My body took wear and tear on that. So, I think the ladies, if you're in pro tennis, and that's why I say once you have a family, once you're in love, it is tough to be solid on the tour. And I think 30-something, mid-30s is a perfect age to have a child.
Agreed.
And she's done everything. She's won, 3 slams? 2 or 3? She won a Wimbledon.
I want to say 2.
She won Wimbledon. She beat Serena. And then she won what?
Did she win Wimbledon twice?
I thought she did. I mean, I think she has 3. And for me, I think kudos to her. This is the time. Her career's going down. She's getting older. I mean, gosh, love is harder to find as you get older. I mean, geez.
Okay. Moving forward. Anyway, good luck to Kerber. I do think we'll see her back playing. I do think that any 35-year-old would love to have their children watching them when they're old enough to remember, say 39, 40, the child's 4 or 5 years old, kind of like Serena has done, kind of like Tom Brady is doing, even though his children are much older. By the way, the NFL season starts soon. I can't wait for that. Let's go 49ers. Okay, moving forward to some breaking news. So for a long time on this show, we have always had little fun segments about players that go from wearing no hat to a ball cap to a bandana and so forth. And it seems like the players that jump to the bandana, they get kind of full of themselves. They now are being, self-conscious, looking in the mirror, and they start donning the bandana. As a player and a competitor my entire life in the sport and playing multiple other sports, the bandana does kind of bring out a sense of coolness, I guess you could say, especially when you're younger. But when you get older, you realize it's really not helping you. Like, it's not helping you protect yourself from the sun. It's not helping keep sweat out your face because the bandana gets wet and starts dripping itself. It's almost like a self-indulgence, I think the bandana is. So the breaking news is, and I did a short video about this yesterday. It's on our playlist shorts about Nick Kyrgios donning the bandana. Watch out. So I'm going to show you a picture of Kyrgios donning the bandana. So he's gone from haircut, no hat, interesting haircuts to no hat, hair dyed, ball cap, backwards ball cap, and now he's to the bandana. Do you think the bandana is going to help him be a much better player? We've seen this before.
Nick Kyrgios transitions to a headband.
See?
Laughing when players make the jump from no hat, haircut, ball cap, backwards ball cap to a headband. That means they're ready to go. Let's go, headband. Watch out.
Okay, now to add to this morning, I was watching some highlights from the Dominic Thiem Grigor Dimitrov match. Okay, so Dimitrov, by the way, was one that went from no hat to a baseball cap to a headband, right? Baby fed, trying to be fed, busting out the headband. Dominic Thiem is another one of those players. Dominic Thiem, however, one-upped everybody last night. Dominic Thiem started out his career with just his haircut, and then it went to a ball cap, and then he started busting the bandana. But you know what he did?
No, and you forgot the elastic, like the girl band.
Oh, yeah, the little soccer thing.
Went to that. Yeah, I remember when he was wearing them. I'm like,
those things are so cheesy. I've seen certain YouTubers that do tennis podcasts sitting in their living room wearing a freaking bandana. I'm like, really? That's so cheesy. Or a little soccer thing on their hair when their hair is short. I'm like, what are you thinking? What are you trying to do? You're like in your living room or in your bedroom and you got a bandana on. It's kind of cheesy. Anyway, Dominic Thiem won up this thing, okay? Dominic Thiem went the broad spectrum. Dominic Thiem went no ball cap, haircut only, to the ball cap, to backwards ball cap, to bandana. Homeboy busted out the fly collar last night. He had the fly collar. So
maybe he had a hickey.
Just covering up the... Do any of you bust out the fly collar?
Maybe. I mean,
like,
well, let's see if he's wearing it again at the U.S. Open. Maybe he has a hickey. I don't know.
So cheesy.
I don't know. Or maybe he's trying to be like Benoit Paire. I don't know.
Yeah, watch out for Kyrgios because he's got the headband on. He might change the game. Not.
Yeah.
All right. Starting.
He was practicing with Jack Sock, right?
Yeah, that was kind of a cringy practice.
He's so thuggish.
Who?
Nick.
Jack Sock?
Nick. No, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Sock's your typical American guy.
Yeah, when we used to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your typical
wannabe.
Overweight.
Yeah.
Wannabe. Like,
yeah, let me give
super
you
pro.
Let me give you two examples of people trying to be what they're not. Okay, Fish concerts. It's a band, right? Fish, Phish. Love them. Back in the 90s, though, they had a much larger hippie following. So there was hippies everywhere, dreadlocks. They didn't bathe. Kind of had that whole grunge look going on. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But hippies in the 60s were actually broke and struggling and so forth. But these hippies in the 90s would go to these shows and they would be dressing like they didn't have a pot to piss in, but they'd pull out of the parking lot in a brand new Mercedes, right? Silver spoon-fed hippies, go figure. And the 2000 between like 2007 and 2015, I was living in Vermont and was snowboarding a lot, like almost every day during the winter. And you would see these dudes on like the lifts, the gondolas and so forth, and they'd be going to snowboard. They'd have their pants down low. They'd have the rap music blaring. They'd be wearing, like gold chains on the mountain, knowing it costs like $108 to get a lift ticket for the day and like $12 for a drink. And they're talking about, I'm thugged out. Like, how does that make any sense? You're not thugged out. You're just, for some reason, wishing you were. And if you actually knew what some of those individuals went through to live that lifestyle, like where it mattered, like on the streets, you realize that you wouldn't be able to handle that lifestyle. So it's laughable, right? Thugged out snowboarders on one of the most expensive mountains to ski on in the Northeast. Go figure. Bad look.
Ben figures like, haven't you heard about Nick and the girl that had 700 drinks, bro?
Oh, yes.
You know, she has a case. She's a lawyer. And she's saying that, that it was all over the media. They put it on TV. It's hurt her family, her job. She's a lawyer. I think she'll win some money, actually.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, technically, if the TV would have been on there or anything, it would have been he said, she said. But because it was broadcasted and they kicked her out, I think, and everything. And she has a case. Plus, they're going to say, oh, look, this lady's a lawyer. She's smart. 700 drinks. That's
and what Ben is making reference to is that there is a fan that was at Wimbledon, and Nick Kyrgios had one of his meltdowns, or blaming others for his misfortunes, whatever, and asked the umpire to kick a lady out because she had drank too much or something.
Yeah, 700 drinks.
And ends up that she had not, and the video kind of circulated, and it cost her job. She was an attorney. She was kicked out of her firm or whatever, and it changed her life for the negative. So this is called slander. We all know what slander is. It's verbal accusations that can hurt someone, and a lot of reasons, emotionally, physically.
That's what she said. It's
economically.
Distress. She'll win though. She'll win that one. Van Lee says, "Do you guys think tennis players are super aware of their image on the court?" Yes. I remember when I was training in challenges, my coach would always say, "Remember, especially as a woman, and your weight is very important. The teeth." He's like, should be white, yes, you are aware of your image, especially if you're trying to sell yourself. Absolutely. Yeah.
Very much aware of your image.
Definitely.
And we have a topic coming up about, we mentioned yesterday's show, Sophia Kenin, her File sponsorship was not renewed, because of her lackluster performance after having won the Australian Open in 2020, I think, 2021, whatever, 2020. As well, her sponsorships were dropped. As well, her management team, top 5, dropped her. But yet, yesterday, Carl and I were watching the qualies, and Eugenie Bouchard came out decked out in the newest New Balance stuff, the newest New Balance headband, the newest outfits, the brightest colors, and the newest shoes. And what has Eugenie Bouchard done? So, yes, it's all about image, because if it wasn't for Eugenie Bouchard selling her ass on Instagram, which is cringeworthy and narrow and small anyway, then she wouldn't have that. So Sophia Kenin doesn't get anything, and she won a major. But yet Eugenie Bouchard is decked out in all the newest New Balance gear. And what has she done? It's absolutely image related, and in some sick ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unfair, but it's the way it rolls. I've told Carla and all of you a million times. I wouldn't want to see it. I wouldn't watch it. But unfortunately, the world in which we live, if in women's tennis they had like a bikini open where all the players wore skimpy bathing suits en route to the final, maybe not a lot of people would play. The best players probably wouldn't play. Just subpar players, if anything, struggling would play. But I guarantee you it get more views than anything tennis has ever seen. Am I right or wrong?
Mm-hmm. Ben Fricker says Nick's also having another issue with his apparent assault on his ex-girlfriend too. He's not having an easy time.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
We've said it a million times.
And Gina, I disagree with you. I think that Zverev and Tsitsipas do care about their image. That's why they are bad boys. They're taking the negative way.
Yep.
By Zverev dressing in the tanks and the gold chain and all that, he does care about his image. He's just portraying a different image. Same as Tsitsipas with the long hair and then the long ass interviews. He tries to be poetic and blah blah blah, but he's really cheesy.
He's really a disrespectful kid that insults his parents on national TV. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Yesterday, someone asked a question to us about why are there no great U.S. American players, especially on the men's side. Currently, we've done entire shows about this. I see a comment here from Van Lee. Did Justin say Eugenie Bouchard has a narrow butt? I'm dying. Shout out to the curvy Latinos. Yes, I did say that. It's narrow. There's nothing there. I'm surprised her bottoms even stay on because they should be falling down around her ankles. See, I have no ass. You can ask Carla. I got no ass. Like I wear a size 31 or 30 or 32 pants or something. And even when they're tight or semi-comfortable at the waist, they fall off because I have nothing to prop it up with. Eugenie Bouchard exponates this, but yet she still is a poster child.
I don't know why.
Yes, the boosty Latinas. Let's go, Carlita. Okay, yeah, but yesterday someone asked us about why there is no great U.S. players. We've done whole shows on this. But this morning we came upon an article and we were reading about it. And the article was about, and I'll kind of quote it, college tennis being broken. So we're talking, when I'm talking college tennis, I'm talking about U.S. college tennis at the D1 level, okay, the highest level, which is a very, very, very tough level, believe me. So this article was about a college, Kansas State, and it mentioned a lot of other ones, but namely they were talking about Kansas State in the middle of the U.S., Tornado Alley, crop fields and so forth. But yet there was not one American player on either men's or the women's tennis team, either one. And the article moved forward indicating, that's a broken system. So let's look at
a broken system.
Let's look at that for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can look at that in multiple ways. Mm-hmm. So the argument against it would be, well, hey, we're in the U.S. This is our college. Yet there's no one on the tennis team that's even American. So how can I continue to pay for lessons for my kids for that chance to play at a high level? How can I continue to do that when I have no chance?
I think that it is a broken system. There is nothing wrong with giving scholarships to anyone from that's coming overseas. I mean, anywhere, Europe, South America, whatever, Latin America. But I think that because we are in the United States, there should be at least half of your roster should be American and half of the roster not American. You know what I mean? How is it that we are giving scholarships away, free education? On top of that, when they graduate, they take the jobs because they become the coaches. They stay for their masters, they pay for their masters sometimes, and they become the assistant coach, and then they become the coach. You're taking jobs away from a lot of coaches. You're taking away opportunities from there. There's a lot of American kids out there that are good. You're taking that opportunity away from them. And it's a shame that they hire the foreign coach because they go and travel overseas and bring those foreigners here. Again, nothing wrong with that, but it should be half and half. That's the right thing to do. We don't go over there to Europe and say, let me go take your scholarship over there. We don't go over there looking to go to school over there or Latin America.
There's more than one way to look at this.
I think it should be half and half. That should be the fair thing to me. Half and half. If the Air Force Academy can recruit and West Point, and that's Division I, American players, why can't the rest of the Division I schools do it? What is the excuse? They do it. They have to do it. They have to. You can't go to Mexico and recruit a player because they have to be American. They're only allowed to take a certain percentage that are not American.
Fair enough.
If they can do it and they have 13 UTRs, what is your excuse, colleges?
The article further address the fact that a lot of these players that they're giving scholarships to, 4-year scholarships to major schools, D1 level, that they'll play for 1 year and then they will turn pro and start taking the money. Now you can turn pro as a college athlete, but you can't take the money. Now that has changed in football, by the way, and say the conferences like the Big Ten and some of these SEC, they are allowed to sign players for money these days. And it's an evolving thing, but it is happening. And if anyone thinks it hasn't ever happened, is foolish. There's always been baiting. There's always been payoffs. But one of the things they alluded to was, okay, this scholarship went to waste. We gave away a 4-year scholarship, everything inclusive. They stayed here a year and left. You can't get that scholarship now in the middle of the second year of it and give it to someone else. And even then in the tennis world, it's someone that's international. Now, let's look at this, the cup half empty instead of half full. Why do we always tell all our kids, especially the girls, the boys too, everyone, but I really pounded onto the girls, right? If you don't work hard, someone else will. If you don't study, guess what? Someone else will. If you don't practice, guess what? Someone else will. Not only will they, but they'll do it with a smile. Okay. The problem, in my opinion, isn't the broken system. It's broken United States in terms of how we take care of our kids and their futures. Okay. I would say 75%, if not more, parents these days just give their kid a cell phone and tell them to go somewhere and they do what they want to do and probably stay on their cell phone. We don't allow that, and I'm not going to get into that again. But if you don't work hard, someone else will. And some of these coaches, if not all of them at the D1 level, if they don't win, they get fired.
That is
Now,
true.
If these coaches can't win, then they lose their ability to take care of their family. Now, with that said, I won't mention names, but we have a couple of good friends that are head coaches in men's tennis and women's tennis at the D1 level. Yes, some of them are international. Actually, anyway, some of them are international, but that's neither here nor there.
I actually know a few that are not internet. They're women, and there's one girl that I used to play with in Brooklyn, and she's the head coach for Columbia University, and she's American.
Okay.
And she does recruit American players.
Okay.
So it is definitely out there. They just have to do their job a little bit. Again, I don't have anything against, but I agree with you. But my question to you is the same thing for baseball? Are they recruiting Dominicans, or are they recruiting from here, D1? Tell me the answer.
Look, there's no rhyme or reason outside of hard work and being hungry that the Dominicans run baseball.
But they go to pros, right? They don't go to the schools. I'm just saying, is it the same case? I'm asking you. I don't know. Is it D1, the baseball players, D1, are they being recruited from international to go to school, or is it American?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer.
That was my
I don't
question.
follow baseball at that level, but I do know that the Dominicans, in terms of baseball, will go out into the streets. You lived there. They'll go out into the streets and play in barefoot. They'll play on any type of surface, and they will be hungry to practice. Now we fast forward to tennis, and I did a video not long ago about it. It's on the playlist, Random Things, I think, and I griped about, is this the future of American tennis? And I videoed about 5 minutes of the courts that we used to teach at. And the courts we used to teach at, we spent 5 years teaching on these courts, taking care of them day in, day out, day in and day out. We've been gone 8 months now, and they're destroyed, almost to the point of no return. I think I could fix them, but it would take me a while.
Going back to your thing, I think, yesterday watching the qualies, there are definitely American players out there. You got one that just turned a pro. He's American. Played for University of Florida, I think.
Holt?
Not Holt. Shelton.
Oh,
played for his dad.
Yeah. What's his name?
Shelton.
Ben Shelton.
Yeah. So then you have Holt, who played at an American school, who's 26 now or 25, who's Tracy Austin.
I think he's 24.
It's 25, 26. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's now at mid. And then you have another one that played at Kalamazoo, two of them. You have Mary Jo Fernandez's son, Nico Gotzig, and then you have the boy that we were watching, Quinn.
And then you had
Quinn. So these are American boys that are actually getting those scholarships D1. They're actually getting the scholarships, because one was playing for Georgia, one's playing somewhere in California.
Now, Holt, if you were watching qualies yesterday, which is a big deal, qualies are important. And again, if you're playing the fantasy teams and you want to compete with some of these ballers here that are going to be balling on that, you're going to want to pay attention to the qualities, because you have to pick one wild card or one qualifier. I think Holt, though, that you're talking about, Holt, I think, has agreed to play at the University of Georgia. He turned pro, but is not taking the money. So
No, Holt is Tracy Austin's son. He's already past college.
We were watching a kid yesterday. I think
Quinn.
Yes, Quinn. And he was the one going to Georgia.
Yes,
he was like 18, 19. Now this kid, Ethan Quinn was his name. He's in qualies currently. Won yesterday in 3 sets against another young man that's going to the University of Virginia playing.
No, he did go to school.
Or did go to the University of anyway. But Ethan Quinn won in 3 sets. He lost the first set 4-6, and then won the next 2 sets, I think 4-4 or 5-5. Anyway, he's got a big game. He has a big game. He has a nice way of hitting spots on his big serve, and he's got some variety. I really like that kid Quinn. Have you guys seen this kid Quinn from the U.S. as well as the young man Shelton?
Yeah, I mean, so my point is, going back to your question, there are people out there that can play. You just have to look for them. Like I said, if the military academies can recruit American players playing D1, then the rest of those schools have no excuse, and they win. They win too. I look at their record.
So we have 2 kids that go to the Air Force Academy, right? What I'm going with that is, I'm not saying rare, but it's increasingly rare to find someone international, even though our son Jonathan has a roommate from Rwanda. Mm-hmm. So it's increasingly rare that a tennis player is going to want to go to a military academy, because if you graduate from a military academy, you have to serve X amount of time. There's no way around it.
I know that. That's not my point. Is if they can find the good American players with 11, 12 UTRs.
But how are they competing against other schools?
They're competing really good. They actually have a good record. My point that My point is that it's possible. You just have to be willing to do it. The problem is very simple. Because they are international coaches, they know they have friends over there overseas that tell them, hey, I got this kid, blah, 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 blah. All right, it's easy for me because you're my friend. I know, okay, they play good. On Facebook, I have the Mortagalu. Every kid that goes to that academy is international. Guess what?
Yeah.
They are all getting the D1 scholarships.
Well, obviously, they're getting trained at the best places, if not arguably the best place on the planet.
So Jose P said there should be a cap on international players on teams like in soccer. Okay.
Fair enough.
I think there should always be a cap. You should have half and half.
But I think the part of the equation we're missing is from the coaching standpoint, from the athletic director standpoint, they keep their jobs and or get paid by winning. And if they recruit half of their team with American players, given the fact of what has happened to American tennis in this country, again, I just did a video about it. And we've talked about it a ton. Laziness, not being hungry,
I agree
silver
with you, but if
spoon-fed.
you have
How are they going to keep their jobs?
If you have a 12 UTR American, a 12 UTR from Mexico, it's the same shit. Please explain that to me. It's the same UTRs. You could still win with either player.
You don't think that playing a 12 UTR in Alabama is different than playing a 12 UTR in the Czech Republic?
Definitely not. A 12 UTR, you're solid. At that level, it's not because you played in Alabama. If you're a 12 UTR, you travel around to play. You're not going to get a 12 UTR by playing here in Alabama. You've left the state to go play.
Well,
it's different if you're saying a 3 UTR and a 3 UTR. You're a 12. You're a solid player. You've already played challengers to have that UTR. You've already traveled and played open tournaments and challengers. You've definitely done that.
Look, at the junior level, I'm sorry, I'm just saying it. Okay. I have been around and taught juniors, aspiring juniors that are, say, 4 UTRs, close to 5, 4 and 5, maybe even 3, 4, 5, somewhere in there. So a developing player, young. I have seen and been on the court with many hundreds, if not thousands over the years of 3, 4 UTRs, developing players that we meet for the first time. And they have 2 hands on the racket at the net hitting volleys. They have no backhand and they lollipop their serve with a flat racket.
That's why they play for D3.
Or don't even play at all. But what I'm saying is you can go and go to some of these academies, like say Agassi Camp, whatever. And the same kids that are aspiring, that are 3, 4, 5 UTRs, that are really just starting to get their feet on the ground, they're not trained to hack the serve. They're not trained to freaking not take the ball early. They're not trained to back up to the fence and hit moon balls. They're trained to play the right way and to give it the time that it takes to master their craft. But here, no disrespect to anyone here, but here, if you look at the junior level, when you go to tournaments, even these level 2, level 1 tournaments, the players that are traveling from, say, Florida or migrants from Pakistan or whatever, they're the ones winning the tournaments. They're the ones that have variety. They're the ones that aren't pitter-patting their serve in the court. They're the ones that aren't hitting their backhands with 2 hands at the net. They're the ones that actually have a net game where other people do not. So this, again, wraps into the fact that why do international people get the scholarships? Because the coaches at the D1 level especially will get fired if they don't win. The athletic directors will not keep their jobs, and you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in salary. Why would they want to have to teach someone coming in at the D1 level as an adult? Why would you want to teach them how to take one hand off the racket at the net?
I agree that you do have to earn it. That's not my point. I'm not saying give it to them because they're American. You have to earn it. Your UTR speaks for itself. And if you're looking and you look at data, whatever, who's your national 1 kid, 2, 3, I'm sure that their UTR is very high and they've traveled all over and they've earned the right to do that. Jose P said rich parents think all they have to do is pay for an academy to create a D1 player.
Bravo. Great comment.
Yeah.
Great comment. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. We had someone not long ago, a junior student, saying that this person was going to go to Auburn and play. This person can't even play a set without double faulting 12 times. This person can't even hit a backhand in the court except a ball or 2 in a row. This person has no net game. And we're believing that coaches are telling parents that, I can get your son or daughter into.
We're very realistic.
Like, are you serious?
Me, I want to play for Auburn, I look at them and I say,
like,
you're not international.
You're from
Unfortunately,
Alabama.
You're not going to have a chance, and you should have started at tennis at 6. It's not going to happen.
So Ashish O out there makes a good comment. And I actually was going to bring up India, and he just happened to reference India. But Ashish says India does not have enough courts, but only the rich get to play on these courts, and they are not serious at their game. Have fun and just go. Exactly. Very, very well said. And a lot of times people that have the deepest pockets, they don't believe what other people are telling them. Over 22 years of coaching, I can't tell you how many times you meet a new player, junior player that's 15, 16 years old, and they believe that their son or daughter is going to go to a D1 school and play. They're sure of it. And you get them on the court to play mini tennis. Carla and I, when we meet a new student, we'll play mini tennis with them. Just bring them to the net, service line, and play some little points and just use the short court, ins and outs. So beyond the service line is out, doubles out. So you're playing singles, but on half the court. And they can't control the short court at all. So you bring them back to the baseline. You say, okay, let's play a couple points to see where we're going. And the first ball you hit, even off the return of serve, you just chip a little dropper. You just tap it over the net. They come in and whack the ball 27 feet out or right into the net. And you ask yourself, and you're going to play D1 tennis and you're 16? You don't say that, but you're thinking, how much bullshit do people believe? But again, it all wraps into why there aren't a lot of U.S. players playing. The silver spoon-fed ones are fed bullshit from prim and proper coaches that really aren't that great in the first place because they have an international accent and the parents lap it up. And then when it's too late, it doesn't matter anyway because they got deep pockets in the first place. I can pay for my kid to take a full ride. It doesn't matter, right? But people like us and you, we can't do that. So what do we have to tell our kids to make them successful? Work your ass off, study your ass off. Don't bring home a B. And when you get home from school, do your homework. And when you get done, we're going to the courts, whether you like it or not. Because again, if you don't do it, someone else will with a smile. Enough said. Do you agree or disagree that the college system is broken, A? And again, if you're international, which most of you are, Gene Swartz, South Africa, Jack Nolte, London, Ashish, India, Yin Hao Kur, Singapore, Thailand, I forget, I'm so sorry. Anyway, by the way, we do have a segment for you coming up, Yin Hao. Anyway, but think about it. If you were in India and you had a university there, and by the way, India produces some of the most intelligent people you'll ever meet. Carla's first full-time student privately. In other words, she didn't teach any other lessons except this one kid. His name was Sanjeev. Kid was like 10 years old. I think when you guys met, 10 or 11, was a concert-level pianist, piano player, extreme, was already taking senior classes in high school and had already committed to what university when he was he
was going to be a brain surgeon.
Brain surgeon,
He's at the University of Central Florida. So he got in, I think, when he was 16.
Yeah, full ride, University of Central Florida at the age of 16, good tennis player, well-rounded, and a concert-level pianist. And I'm telling you, there are kids like this abound, especially from places like India, China, Japan, places where parents are more like we are.
Well, it's like my
son's
roommate who's from Rwanda. He says if he doesn't get straight A's in school, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
And
so
his dad's a general. So yeah.
Yeah.
Does that A- count? If it's an A now, you're
if it's
safe.
An A, we're good.
You're safe. If it's an A.
But think about that. Our oldest son, Jonathan, has a roommate at the Air Force Academy from Rwanda, and he was born into a military family, and his father was like a general of the Rwandan military or whatever the connotation is there. And he tells Jonathan all the time, if I make less than an A in anything, I will embarrass my family. I may get kicked out of the family or even worse. And he's at the United States Air Force Academy. So again, I say this for the last time, work your ass off, study your ass off, be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle. And if you can't do it, so what? Who gives a shit? Someone else will. Fair enough. And that's how we roll. The truth and reality. I'm not going to tell a kid that's got a two-hand volley at the net, that can't play the short game, that can't hit a backhand more than 3 times until they hit it out, can't put spin on their shots, that has no variety. I'm not going to tell one of those kids that, oh, yeah, you can play at Auburn. I know somebody. Shut up. You're full of shit. Anyway, enough said on that topic. Okay.
Yang Hao said, what's better, being the worst of the best or the best of the worst?
The first.
Being the worst.
The worst of the best. That's an interesting statement. Who are some of the worst of the best?
Gene says, when Fritz is your best player, then that is serious trouble. Laugh out loud.
Yeah, exactly.
Michael says, sometimes Justin sounds strict to me. My nephew's got mobile phones at 12. He had an easy going life, get straight A's, go to private school, but his parents aren't that strict.
I'm not willing to risk it. I'm not.
There's your thing. He went to private school.
Yeah.
We can't afford
we go to
put our
public
kids
schools,
in
bro.
Private school.
We go.
There's the key right there, Michael.
No disrespect to our public school system, but the Alabama public school system is like ranked number 47th in the country. The kids at the school we go to, no disrespect, again, are taught to either become shrimpers or oystermen or welders long before they even give a damn about anything else.
Yeah, there's your thing. If you're going to private school, your parents got some type of decent money.
You got some income. You got some silver spoons.
Even kids that we teach here, you go to private school here is what, 13, 14, 15,000 a year?
Yeah.
For one child. Some people have 2 or 3 kids going to the school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
10,000 a year times multiple kids.
That's a lot of money. Plus, you're not counting the fees and the books and all the sports they got to do. So add another couple thousands to that. That's a lot of money.
We don't make that much in a year.
So it's not that we don't make that much in a year. We have enough kids. If we wanted to push it, we could, but we can't. We're not going to, because then we would struggle in other areas. But I also feel like if Jonathan Christopher could do well at a public school,
so can you.
So can you. Why do I need to put you in private school? These 2 kids did it in Irvington, where you look up Irvington, look up the economics in Irvington, look at the median
or more like
income.
By the Battery, yeah.
I mean, look it up. Magnet schools. My son went to magnet schools. He got into magnet schools. Unfortunately, here some of the magnet schools here really suck. They're not magnet schools, you know. Mm-hmm. If you can succeed, if my 2 boys could succeed in public schools, it's like I told the rest of the kids, you definitely can. There's no excuse. They proved it.
Jonathan, our oldest son, who's in his junior year at the Air Force Academy, was the first boy ever to come out of the school he goes to make it to a military academy. Followed up
without sports.
Without
They've
sports.
done it with sports.
Without sports.
Yeah.
Christopher was the second one 2 years later without sports. Now, granted, they both played on their tennis team as the number 1 player, but we're talking about Bayou La Battery and Irvington and Grand Bay area of South Alabama. Lovely place, love it, but it is not known for producing high level either academics or high level entrepreneurs or whatever. So put it this way: we help coach a high school team. I won't even get into the names. We assist coaching a team, and we love it. We love it. It fires me up just to talk about these kids. They don't have tennis courts. Okay, we worked out a deal with some grants to break ground on getting these kids some courts, but they don't have tennis courts. They have a wonderful coach, but she just does it because she, enjoys it and she likes to help kids. But she's not like some lifetime career coach or tennis player. She's like a Spanish teacher. Anyway, much respect to her. But when these kids that have worked their ass off with no courts, that drive an hour away, one way to practice, when they go to private schools to play on their courts, when they go to other public high schools that are in places that are pretty high class, I guess you could say economically, they get laughed at. Who is this piece? I bet you they can't spell. And then we come plain dressed and not in uniform because we're not actually members of the official coaching staff, even though we have a big part of it. They don't realize who we are, and we're sitting there next to a group of kids all the time, and they're sitting there, look at these rednecks, look at these pieces of trash. I wonder how they came from the trailer park. Look at this person. They don't know how to dress. Ooh, look at their racket. We hear it all the time, right? That's what these kids deal with. Every single day they go to play. And people ask me why I get pissed off when I go to these matches and I overhear it, and why I shout, come on, so much for our players when we play people like that. Why? Because I just listen.
So intense.
I just listen to them for 20 minutes, give them hell.
So intense.
Okay. Anyway. All right. So back to the qualies, U.S. Open just for a moment. Carla mentioned it before. Tracy Austin's son and Mary Jo Fernandez's son have made the main draw, and I think doubles for the most part. I think that kid Ethan Quinn won his first quali match and will head into his second match playing Federico Del Bonis. Isn't that correct? So someone interesting to watch if you're playing our fantasy teams is the young kid Ethan Quinn. He does have a big game. If he can hold his mind together at his young age, I think he'll be okay. I do want to see that Del Bonis Quinn match, though, and I think we get to watch it here shortly. I said earlier that the qualies on the women's side were a little bit lackluster for me yesterday because out of the 5 or 6 matches that we watched, I know for a fact that Carla would handle multiple of them that I watched. period. Even the likes of Eugenie Bouchard. I'm just saying. Eugenie Bouchard looked like a walking toothpick, right? Her legs look skinnier than mine. And again, I ruptured my patellar tendon and lost all my quad muscles and a lot of my calf muscles. And it takes a long time to come back. So Eugenie Bouchard looked like a walking toothpick. No ass, no legs. And she beats this girl, I think it's a Japanese girl, like 3-3. And she has a full outfit of New Balance on, but yet Sophia Kenin has nada.
And won a slam.
I don't know.
I said it's because I told him yesterday that's pretty simple. That's because Kenin did not have the sex appeal that Bouchard had before.
What's up, Hitchhiker? Long time no see. Good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next topic. We all know that Serena Williams is about to venture into her last tournament, her last major, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, what can we honestly expect from her?
Mm-hmm.
We'll start there. What can we honestly? All the hopes and desires that she walks off with the major or she goes deep into the tournament. What are the honest, objective feelings on what we can expect from Serena Williams?
I think that she gets lucky, gets an easy match, one draw, one round, and then losing the next one.
Okay, so
she looked. It looked really hard for her to move.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like she was carrying a lot of weight, struggling to run. She looked very tired. She
was huffing and puffing.
She looked very like a 40-year-old would be a normal 40-year-old, late 40-year-old. Is
there any chance on the earth in which we live that Serena Williams wins the US Open?
No.
No chance.
No chance.
Like 0%, not 0.01, not 1%, not 10%. You're giving it a flat out non-questionable 0.
Emma has a better chance than her.
Yesterday we watched Serena Williams practice. As much ambition, as much desire, I hope she does well. She was playing points. She was working with Renee Stubbs.
Yeah, she was hitting against Sakari.
Yeah, hitting against Sakari. And she looked like she was struggling in between points. She was playing sets, right? Renee Stubbs has been on her team for a little while and wanted her to play sets. And I understand that. But Serena looked like she was very, very, very tired. And she looked like she was huffing and puffing. When she plays some of these killers out there that are young and on fire, they're going to feed into that. They're going to run her. They're going to move her. They're going to drop her. They're going to lob her. They are going to take a lot of steps back on her serve, and they're going to chip it right off the return. They're going to drop her. They're going to move her. And ultimately, that shot clock is going to be the time clock. The serve is going to be ticking, whereas in playing practice sets, it's not. I didn't see any possible way her practicing yesterday where I felt comfortable that if she was in a game that was at the 12th deuce, 0-0 in the first set, it goes to 12 deuces, big points, long rallies, good defending player like anybody. To be honest, like any of the girls are pretty good defensively. I don't know how she gets through that.
Yeah, I was saying, Mike Walker saying she looked big. She likes to eat. I said, yeah, one boob weighs at least 25 pounds. Add another one. Add the leg and then the ass.
It's a lot.
I mean, think about it as women. You got one boob, normal boob for a woman, maybe it's 5 pounds each.
So now we're taking the weight of breasts. It's like hold on.
When women lose weight, they lose boobs. She's gained weight, so I think
she's gained boobs. 25
pounds. Think the ass. You were like, damn.
Damn.
You were like, damn. And then the legs. She's always had thick, muscular legs. Well, now it has fat. That is a lot of weight to carry.
Could you imagine turning on the tennis channel and James Blake and Jim Curry are talking and they're like, how does Serena do? Well, her left boob weighs 30 pounds. Her right boob is 27 and a half. That ass got to weigh 35. And that damn legs are, they're really, she may not play too well because of the combined weight of her ass, tits. And
that's how I look at it.
I'm like, damn.
Honestly, that's how I look at it. When I have a female tennis student, and I know she's gained weight, I'm like, first thing I look at is here and here. You know, as a woman, you lose weight there, She's gained it. I mean, Oh my god.
Yeah. So
Oh,
so by the way, her practice regimen.
What's up, Stephanie? I'm just serious. As a woman, when you lose weight, you're getting that shit in shape. You're running. You're lifting weights. Everything's shrinking.
Stephanie with a compliment. Carla's glowing today, especially. I agree with you.
That's because I lifted weights. I told my husband, I said, I'm not sitting here for an hour and a half waiting for the show. I'm gonna go work out. So I did squats. I did like 100 lunges. I used the machine that Christopher left.
Wall props
to do leg curls. I did planks. I said, you know what? Let me work on my weakest thing, which is my abs. So I worked on the planks, because I know my legs are strong. So yeah,
putting in work.
I'm not gonna be like Serena. My boob's not gonna weigh 25 pounds each.
You sure that left hand isn't weighing 87 pounds?
I'm not doing that. No way.
Yeah. She was squatting earlier, and I went downstairs and kind of crept up behind her.
What is a BBL?
And took a Lydia. What?
Yeah, I'm curious. What is a BBL? Serena had a BBL, Carla.
Big busty butt.
Big busty L.
I don't know what that means. It's a good one. I'd like to know what that acronym is. Okay.
Oh, butt surgery. No.
I don't think so.
That stuff looked like cellulitis. When you see the dots on tights,
the dimples on the booty,
that's a problem. Don't wear them.
Yeah, nothing like going to like the store.
He's like, I could send you the proof. Serena's always had a big butt, always huge. It's just bigger now, and it weighs more.
Yeah, if you're talking about like when people wear short shorts and they don't really have any business wearing short shorts, so you're like behind them at the checkout line in the grocery store, and you can't help but to look because it's like right there, and you're like, damn. You got to put some pants on or something.
Yeah, Serena's always been a big girl. Okay. I don't think she had a butt lift. I doubt it.
So Serena's been training for 2.5 hours in the morning, playing sets yesterday with Sakari. Again, she looked like she was huffing and puffing. I don't know what you can expect, but I don't expect that she wins it. I don't think she gets close to it. I do think it's more of a theatrical performance, and that's okay. I think she deserves that. So that she will get. What can you expect for the crowds for her matches? Is the crowds going to be sold out, packed, seats piled
They're
up?
They're going to need to cheer her on, and she's going to have to say, come on, for every point, because that's what's going to take for her to even try to get past the second round.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't end with an injury. I hope she doesn't, roll her ankle or bust a knee or something. So hopefully she walks off greatly, and hopefully that she walks off without getting bageled. Right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully it's a close match. Anyway, she is the GOAT. She is the greatest of all time, hands down. She deserves what she's getting, and I think she'll get a fine last major.
Ooh, look at the sun out there.
I don't think the results will be a win. It could be.
That's sunny out there.
Could be. All right. Next topic, we brought up yesterday a bit about Sophia Kenin. Sophia Kenin won the Australian Open. She had so much pressure on her trying to defend it the next year. Everybody was, you're the next best big thing. You're going to keep rolling off majors. And that she had so much pressure on her. She couldn't think straight. She felt like she was living in a cloud of no thoughts. She had no emotions. She was just there. Didn't she deal with a death in her family or something? Sophia Kenin?
What death in her family?
Maybe I'm wrong there. But anyway, a lot of pressure she was dealing with, and she has dropped to number 100 or 426 in the world or something. We mentioned earlier in the show and yesterday that File, her sponsor, dropped her. We mentioned that her management company, Top 5, dropped her, and now she's just struggling to get a win, and she got her first win in 8 months yesterday.
No, when did Kenin's dad did not die? I thought that was Anisimova. Her dad was there cheering her at the other tournament.
Yeah, it was Anisimova's
dad. You're thinking of Anisimova, no.
Anyway, I thought there was some type of death that was close to her, though. But I don't want to spread fake news here. Okay, yesterday, Carl and I, again, we compete with you guys in the fantasy team competitions. Again, if you're playing, check out that video. All the instructions are there, and that's where you'll put your entry. So we really pay attention to the qualities and always have. Eugenie Bouchard comes on court and decked out New Balance, the new gear, the yellow, the headband, furthermore, she also had one of these little advertisements on the front of her tank top. So, like NBA basketball, they have like the team name, they have the NBA symbol, and then they had to go through all these bells and whistles to be able to get little advertisements like on their arm. So they do the same type of thing in tennis, right? So a company is able to pay XYZ tons of money, if not millions, to put their logo on the player's shirt. So she has the logo, and I'll find it. I forget exactly what it was, but she had a business logo on her shirt. So not only did she have all the latest New Balance stuff from head to toe, including the shoes, she had matching strings on the racket, brand new Yonex. She was decked out, and then on top of that, she had the business logo. So there are a lot of investments in her playing the qualies, right? They got her decked out in the qualies. Most players have no logos, no anything, and they're covering them up purposely so they can get a sponsor, right? But she's loaded. But Sophia Kenin, no. What is wrong with this equation? Sell your ass and you'll get sponsored. But if you don't sell your narrow ass, then you're going to be like Sophia Kenin that won a major. Talk about the college system broken. Even the pro system is broken. Am I right or wrong? Just saying, right? Just saying. Okay, for Yin Hao Kur out there really quickly, I know you don't want to hear about this, probably the majority of you, but we rarely watch movies. It's been raining here for so long that we rented a movie last night, namely for our 6-year-old Justin, who loves dinosaurs, Jurassic World Dominion. Okay. Officially, the movie got 30% Rotten Tomatoes, so an F. A 5 out of 10 on IMDb, 50 out of 100 is still an F, and 38% on some other thing, an F, right? Not that we're movie critics, but if you've seen this movie, how do you rank it? I think I'm giving it about a D+, right?
It was okay. It was not bad. I mean, it was better than the one before, I think.
Do you know what really made me give it the D+, though? There was like a dinosaur that was all up in somebody's face, like about to eat their face off. And that guy, what's the main actor's name?
Which one?
The main guy that all the girls
The
think
young guy? The one that's married to Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter?
Whatever. Anyway,
what is
doesn't matter, but he's like the star of it. So he comes out of nowhere and puts a dinosaur in a chokehold. He grabs it and is like, oh,
Yeah.
I got you. Puts it down.
Chris Pratt, yeah.
Chris Pratt.
That shit was funny. I was like, oh shit.
Chris Pratt rolls up to the dinosaur. This lady's about to get her face eaten off, and he's like, get back. Grabs it in a freaking chokehold. I'm like, come on, man. You can't put a dinosaur in a damn chokehold. Not happening. So that's when I was like, okay.
The good thing is that, you know, there's no way that humans could live with dinosaurs. It's just impossible. They would eat us. We would be like snacks to them. No way. I'm glad that we don't, because some of those things look so scary.
Yeah, I don't
He's
know.
all right. He's not cute.
What was better?
He's okay.
What was better, the second Top Gun, the new one, or that movie?
Oh, the second Top Gun, much better. Yeah, much better.
All right, Andy Murray. For a moment, Andy Murray is going to pop up. Yesterday, we watched a press conference with Andy Murray. I must say he looked like James Bond now. He looked very much older, more kind of GQ, clean shaven. He didn't look so gnarly and like the world is about to crumble on him. He looked all right. So with that said, what can we expect from Andy Murray?
2 rounds.
You think? You don't think? You don't think any more than 2?
No, I think his time for retirement is around the corner as well.
Look, depending on his draw, and there's no such thing as an easy draw. I think there's players that just match up better against other players. If he gets some good matchups, I think he makes the second week. If he doesn't get good matchups, he may very well lose early. Someone like Van de Schulzomp or whatever. Don't forget that we were watching Van de Schulzomp playing Griekspoor, 2 gentlemen from the Netherlands at the Winston-Salem Open yesterday. Don't forget that people like Van de Schulzomp made the quarterfinals in the U.S. Open 2021.
Very hard to repeat that, though.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, if Murray played someone like Van de Schulzomp,
I mean, he's got a better chance, but it all depends how that draw looks, right? I mean, I think with Murray, you just never know. He's not fat, but he's got iron in his hip, and he has a hard time moving. And from his interview yesterday, he was saying that his body was cramping up. He didn't know why it was cramping up. And he was just practicing with Berrettini, you know? Mm-hmm. So he was a little worried about that. He's been cramping up lately a lot. I just think if he has a tough first round that's 5 sets, he might not have the energy into the next round. You know, I kind of agree with James Blake. He doesn't see Murray ever making a final. I don't see it either. It's almost impossible for him with his body, you know, what he has to deal with. The pain that he has to deal with. Yeah,
I thought he looked good though, from a man standpoint. I thought he looked well. I'm not scared to say a man is handsome. I always thought that Andy Murray was kind of like you know, I don't really. He just looked all grimy.
He's looking for your impersonation. I'm looking forward to Justin's Murray impersonation.
But he looked good. You know, I've done some impersonations where, you know, Murray's like, and I didn't come ready for that. I'll do it next time. But he looked actually pretty good. He looked good.
He's not an ugly guy. I mean, I've never thought that Murray was an ugly guy.
Yeah. He looked good.
I mean, he is, what is he, Scottish?
Scottish, yeah. British,
yeah. Yeah, Scottish. That's normal for Scottish guys. A lot of Scottish guys kind of age that way, except Gerard Butler. I'm very disappointed in you. How could you age really bad?
Is Gerard Butler British?
He's Scottish.
Scottish, yeah.
And that was like my crush. And it's like, I look at him now and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, you know,
yeah.
He's not hot anymore. He's like, what's his name? Hatchenough, not hot anymore. Just not hot anymore.
Yeah.
Just total.
I think he makes the second week with good matchups. Again, I don't believe in an easy draw.
Marat Safin is the best. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Take some comments. Read a few, and then we'll check the weather.
Yeah. Federer was never good looking. I agree with Michael Walker. He's not good looking now. He has the money and he knows how to dress. That's what helps him.
He's got style.
He knows how to dress. I think that's what helps him.
He's got that. He's
not. Djokovic is way better looking than Federer. Just saying. You know what I mean? Djokovic is actually not an ugly guy.
It's going to rain there.
He's actually a pretty handsome guy. It's just the stupid shit that he does that pisses me off. But Federer is And Nadal is not good looking either, by the way. I never thought Nadal was a good looking dude.
He just has that fight.
He just has the fight. I've never looked at Federer and say, Nadal, he's so hot. He's not. He's just a strong player. That's it.
Yeah, I think the ladies get into Nadal's physique.
Maybe the physique, but I not even for me. That doesn't work. I don't see it. Yeah.
Someone out there said it just went away. The chat's doing well, but someone indicated that I think it might have been Ashish out there, I think, or Van Lee, that Dominic Thiem would have a good tournament. I don't know. I don't know about that.
Agassi look best looking? No.
Well, he wasn't bad. If you go back to like the 80s where he had the long hair, the earrings, the jean shorts.
I never thought he was cute. No.
It wasn't bad.
He's okay.
But Dominic Thiem, though, is kind of cringy to me, only because of his transformation with the headgear. Again, we talked about this with Kyrgios finally busting out the headband. Dominic Thiem, to me, is a player like Benoit Pierre or Fabio Fognini. They're very self-indulgent. When you're changing from no hat to backwards hat to bandana, now fly collar, it seems like you're more worried about how you look and how you come across to other people. And I feel like if you're so worried about how you're looking and to keep up with the latest fads or trends, then you have less time to stay focused on the game. So I don't think TM makes the second.
I don't think he does.
It's possible, but Dimitrov yesterday is another one of those that's been through transitions of headgear,
and he hasn't. Here's another guy who everybody thought was handsome. He's kind of not anymore.
Who?
Not Dominic Thiem. Dimitrov.
Yeah,
he's not aging well.
Well, he played yesterday, Dimitrov, and I think he was bageled. I think he was up a set in the break. I think he'd won the first set 6-0. I think anyway, or vice versa, but had to retire because he wasn't feeling well.
Bentley's comment: Michael Walker is a butt and face connoisseur. Laugh out loud.
That's cool.
Michael Walker, he knows. He's got it. You know, I agree with him. Borg, Safin, Noor, those were handsome men. I agree.
Yeah. Nothing wrong
All you
with
gotta
that.
ask is Michael Walker. Out of 10, he'll tell you how it is.
Yeah, homie's got taste. He's got taste.
And he'll break down your body.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you are athletic. Yeah, you get fat. No, you won't get fat. That is the perfect body.
Well, yeah. So, hey, Mike Walker, check out the short we put out earlier of Carla doing squats. And you'll see some real tennis legs. if you want to see, if you want to see her legs doing squats.
You know, my husband, he drives me nuts. I'm working out, and I'm like, can you stop?
I'm like,
filming me, please. Like, this is like my space, and you're like invading that space.
Man, that's a great space to be in.
Oh, yeah.
Best seat in the house.
Natalie said, I will not deem anyone's face handsome or butt big without Michael's opinion.
There you go.
He's it. Guys, if you want style, this is your man right here.
Let's go.
He'll even tell you what looks good on you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep.
So do you think the long hair looks good on him, Michael Walker? Since he knows about face and All that.
I don't even think about that.
Oh,
I feel
man.
more comfortable with long hair. Because I'm tall and thin, I feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like when I have my head shaved, I feel less comfortable because I'm always wearing a hat.
I know Carla's body type. Oh shit, he knows my body type.
Yeah, her body type's Lizicki, Sabine Lizicki, Angelique Kerber. Who else has your body type in tennis?
I don't know.
Kerber, Lizicki. Who else?
We're not thin, but we're not fat. We're like random. We're thick.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. That's where Serena has a problem. If you're a thick woman or athlete, you cannot get fat. Someone like J-Lo's body, you cannot get fat. It'll be a problem.
Yeah.
It will be a problem. That's why I lift the weights, because the weights keep everything tight and you lose muscle as you get older.
I agree with you. Yeah. And all this rain is taking away our hours that we usually spend on courts, which I'm dying to do. Man, I tell you what, I get stir crazy not being when you've done something for so long and now you're going like 40 days without a full lesson because of inherent rain. Yeah. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like I feel.
Well, that's why I told you I'm going to go work out because I feel, I took a shower. I felt good after that. And I said, all right.
Yeah. And look.
And I won't eat much.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, hey, look, I honestly hope tomorrow we don't do a show because I really want to get back on the courts. We have a big 18-person clinic that
tonight,
we do on tonight, Wednesday nights and Friday nights. And by the look of the FutureCast radar, it's going to tumultuous rain again today or this afternoon and tonight.
Why can't it stay like this?
And then tomorrow.
See, it's sunny right now, but it's that rain that's coming behind us that I'm worried about.
Yeah, and we would go up there and sit, but it's 45 minutes away, and then it's if it rains, then we got to come back. So we're really at mercy of the weather forecasters, the meteorologists, and the FutureCast because it's a tough thing to waste half of your day driving for no reason. Anyway, we really want to get back on the courts, but if it rains again tomorrow, we'll do another show tomorrow. Again, if I don't do something tennis related every day, I'll freak out, or I'll just pace around the house all day and film her doing squats downstairs. Okay. So anyway, don't forget if you want to participate in the $700 cash giveaway, it's free to play. Just subscribe. Don't forget, we are going to be giving away multiple sets of Wytech's new Square X Sharp strings. Don't forget that 2 people, regardless, are going to win the fantasy team competitions. So get ready for that. And that's it. Tomorrow, if it rains, we'll do another show.
Yeah,
plain and simple.
Edberg, yes, Edberg, handsome. Edberg, even now at his age, handsome. Age really, really, really good.
Yes, Stefan Edberg is my favorite tennis player of all time.
Amazing, the body, everything. Like I loved him when I was a kid. I loved watching him. He's so elegant.
Yes, my dad would always have us watch any major when it was televised. I'm talking back in the 80s when Edberg was playing. He wanted us to really study Edberg, his game, how he played, his sportsmanship, his demeanor. He always wore all white, that type of thing. So did most of those players back then. So let me ask you a question about this, and I hate to prolong, but there are a generation of people, and myself kind of one of them, that prefers all white on a tennis court. You rarely see that these days, except at Wimbledon, where it's mandatory. What are your thoughts on wearing all white when you play? It's tough on clay because it gets so dirty.
White is nice. I can't do it every day. No.
Yeah, would you rather wear all black on a tennis court or all white?
It's hard. Black is tough. I wear black. I used to wear all black, but I don't anymore. I try not to because it's just too hot.
Yeah. I
like colors. I love colors. So white is nice if it's a special tournament or an occasion and stuff, but I can't do it every day. No.
Yeah. But Edberg was one of those that made the all white look good. Borg, all that generation of players. But anyway,
Vanley's like, Michael, I'm beginning to worry about you.
We love him anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Much love. We'll see you tomorrow if it rains. Hopefully it does not. Don't forget, we'll be doing shows every single day as we always do for the past 4 years during majors, with the exception of Wednesdays and Fridays. I think the first week, Wednesday, Monday and Tuesday is the top of the half and the bottom of the half of the draw. So Wednesday would be the beginning of the second round, and then Thursday would be the bottom of the second round, and then Friday would be the top half of the third round, or just third round. But anyway, we'll work it out. I can't wait. Excited about it. I can't wait to compete against all of you. I know Carla feels the same way in the fantasy teams and the $700 predictions. All right. Much love. Let's go. Can I get a let's go? All right.
Adios.
Peace out.